gang, welcome back to another devotion. I'm on a devotional roller coaster. Loving you ain't everything's healthy. Loving you was always good for me. All right, so as you all know, we're in the book of Gideon. So today we are reading Judges chapter 17 through 23. Now I'm gonna be real. I did not write all of this down, and I'm not gonna read it all. Actually, for the purpose of this, where's my laptop? For the purpose of this, I will read it all. So hold on one second. All right, so let me just pull it up really quickly because I want y'all to get the full woody woo. All right, so we're in Judges chapter 17 through 23. And then after I read the whole thing, then I'll tell y'all exactly what I wrote down. Girl, what? Oh no, I'm in Judges chapter 6. Judges chapter... All right. So chapter 17 through 23. Gideon replied, "If now I have found favor in your eyes, give me a sign that it is really you talking to me. Please do not go away until I come back and bring my offering and set it before you." And the Lord said, "I'll wait until you return." Chapter 19. Gideon went inside, prepared a young goat, and from an ephah of flour he made bread without yeast, putting the meat in a basket and its broth in a pot. He brought them out and offered them to him under the oak. The angel of God said to him, "Take the meat and the unleavened bread, place them on this rock, and pour out the broth." And Gideon did so. Then the angel of the Lord touched the meat and the unleavened bread with the tip of the staff that was in his hand. Fire flared from the rock, consuming the meat and the bread, and the angel of the Lord disappeared. When Gideon realized that it was the angel of the Lord, he exclaimed, "Alas, sovereign Lord, I have seen the angel of the Lord face to face." 23, but the Lord said to him, "Peace, do not be afraid. You are not going to die." All right, so I'm going to tell y'all what I wrote down. I wrote down all of that except chapters 19 through 21. I said basically Gideon prepares the offering and God shows him it's him, and then he disappears, just because I just personally didn't want to write all that. But that's what the entire thing says. So that was the scripture. Observation. I had a couple of observations. I'm going to run through these kind of quickly because y'all know I don't like to keep my devotions long. You know what I'm saying? So observation 1, Gideon questioned the prophecy he got from the Spirit. A lot of times they tell us, don't question it. Don't question it. Don't question it. Me, I'm going to question it. I'm going to question it. If somebody gives me a prophecy, I'm going to question it. I'm going to ask God for a confirmation like, God, is this you? God, is this you? Like, is this you speaking to me, or is this somebody else? Because I've been through too many situations where church people, they give you a prophecy that they want for you. They don't give you a prophecy that God really gave to you. And something that I learned, and like I said, this is just me, God will never give you a prophecy from somebody else that he hasn't already spoken to you about. So if it's just a random prophecy, that's just me. That's just my experience. You know, that's just me. Number 2, Gideon was willing to sacrifice for an answer to his question. Gideon went, prepared the goat, prepared the boom, 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 all of that. He asked the question, God, show me that this is you, but he was willing to sacrifice. He was willing to create the sacrifice in order to hear from God. Yeah, you got to be willing to sacrifice in order to hear from God, whether that's fasting, whatever the case may be. You got to be willing to sacrifice in order to hear from God. Observation 3, God didn't have an issue proving to Gideon that he was God. One thing about God, he's going to show you he's God. The old folks say it all the time. God's going to show you that he's God. So God does not have an issue proving to you that he's God. If they have an issue proving to you that is God, it's probably not God. Observation 4, when Gideon was afraid, he told him to have peace and to not be afraid. That right there, I can be done. Have peace Do not be afraid. Observation 5. Sovereign means having the highest power. I just wanted to look up what the word sovereign meant, because I hear people call God sovereign all the time. But sovereign just means having the highest power. So when you say sovereign Lord, that means that you're acknowledging that God has the highest power. Observation 6, God said, the angel of the Lord said, I will wait until you return. God was patient with Gideon. God will always be patient with you. He's going to show you he's God, but he's going to be patient with you. God is not God is not in a rush. You know, he's patient because he knows that in the end, the goal is for you to trust in him and for him to get the glory. So he's patient with us. Then I wrote down, it was very odd to me that the angel of the Lord disappeared. And at first I thought that it was God, but I had to do a little bit of research, and I found out that, you know, the angel, it really was an angel. The angel represents God, but wasn't God. The offering, he burnt the offering, and then he disappeared to show that the sacrifice to God was taken, if that makes sense. So not only did Gideon give an offering, but the fact that the angel burnt the offering and then disappeared, that was to show that the offering was accepted by God. You know, this is still, you know, the Old Testament. So, you know, in order to speak to God, you know, there needed to be some sort of sacrifice until Jesus came and took all that out. But yes, those are my observations. Application. You have to be willing to sacrifice things to God in order for him to speak to you. And I said, this is a note to myself, real sacrifice that hurts the flesh and makes the spirit strong. One thing that I struggle with is sacrifice. I'm sorry, I was declining a call. Sacrifice. It is so hard for me sometimes to sacrifice things to God. Sacrifice time on TikTok, sacrifice time on Instagram, sacrifice, you know, time in the morning, sacrifice time to God. Sacrifice. God's thing is sacrifice. You have to be willing to hurt the flesh in order to make the spirit strong. When you ask God for a sign or for an answer, be willing to sacrifice something to God, whatever that may be. And then my prayer was basically me telling God, God, I suck when it comes to sacrifice. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at it. That's just what it is. I'm terrible at it. But you know that, and you love me anyway. So God, just give me the strength to sacrifice and give me the wisdom to know what to sacrifice in order to get closer to you. Yeah, that is the devotion for today. Ran through it kind of quickly. But as always, you can always go look at it for yourself, read it for yourself, figure it out for yourself. I love you guys, and I look forward to having another devotion with you tomorrow.